Welcome back to the NerdCast Podcast, where we talk all your tech-related home and office applications. I'm your host, Chris. Today we're going to be talking about cached data. Should you keep it or should you clear it? Have you ever noticed how a website or app feels way faster and the second time you open it? Well, the speed boost is a result of what's called cached data. It's like your device's short-term memory, temporarily storing bits and pieces of what you've already seen, such as things like images, scripts, and layouts. This background processes, it saves time, it cuts down on bandwidth, and helps everything feel smoother. So what is cache data? Well, we break it down like this. Cache data is a temporary data stored by a device, app, or browser to quickly access frequently used content. It reduces load times by saving files like images, scripts, or website elements, and it does that locally. Caching is a broader process that enables this. Whether you're using a phone, tablet, solid-state driven computer or laptop, or even a basic hard drive, your device relies on caching or making repeated tasks faster. Even operating systems also use it to optimize memory usage by keeping frequently accessed data in faster access areas. Still, caching isn't perfect, nor is it permanent. It can be outdated, it can be corrupted, and it can take up more space than you'd like. So the big question still remains, should you clear it? And if so, when? So let's break it all down. How does cache data work? Before we talk about clearing your cache, let's unpack what it is actually doing behind the scenes. The process looks something like this. A first-time visit triggers downloads of static content. These files are saved in memory or storage, depending on your device and app. Repeat visits reuse those stored files instead of reloading them from the internet. The result? Faster load times, less data usage, and smoother navigation. For caching data to be restored for reaccess, there needs to be enough memory or storage space on your device. Cache memory has an extremely low latency, meaning it can be accessed very quickly. You can test this by opening a new app or visiting a website you've never been before, then revisiting it and comparing the speeds. Your second around should be noticeably faster. The flip side to low latency means that not much memory can be stored. This is why small-sized files like web text and images are stored in cache. However, it's important to note that corrupted cache files can lead to errors. In such cases, clearing the cache can resolve these issues. Personally, I have found that sometimes a website is not working optimally or performance issues exist. And sometimes it's because those cache files are outdated. So it's important to go ahead and clear that so that you can start a new rotation of cache files, and you should notice a much more smooth experience. So what are the different types of cache? Not all cache data lives in the same place or serves the same purpose. From the files your browser saves to speed up web pages to the microseconds shaved off by your device's processor's cache, each type plays a role in making your digital experience faster and more seamless. So here's a breakdown of the most common types of cache and what they actually do. You have your CPU cache, which is built into your processor. This is a faster type of cache. It stores instructions and data your system uses constantly, helping apps run smoothly and reducing lag at the microsecond level. Disk cache. This cache uses your device's RAM to temporarily store files you've recently opened or saved. It reduces slow hard drive access and speeds up repeated file use. The more RAM that you have in a computer, the better performance you may receive because it can store more cache data. So then there's web cache. This is the one that we're probably most familiar with. It's found in browsers, proxy servers, or CDNs. Web cache stores web content like images and pages to speed up the site loading and save bandwidth. Then there's app cache. Apps like Spotify, YouTube, or Instagram cache media files, previews, and session data to load faster and reduce buffering or reloads. While system cache is managed by your operating system. This cache helps speed up the common system tasks like keyboard pop-ups, app switching, and screen transitions. On a more complicated note, you have DNS cache. It saves recently resolved domain names and reduces the time it takes to load familiar sites. Flushing it can fix loading issues. So if you're having issues, try flushing your DNS cache. Is cache data important? You don't need cache data to use your device, but without it, everything would feel slower, clunkier, and more repetitive. That's why if you have a computer with low RAM, you can notice significant performance issues because your CPU is constantly trying to pull from cache data, and maybe the RAM can't hold the amount of data required for it to pull. So cache data quietly improves performance in the background, helping things run faster, smoother, and more efficiently. Cache memory also saves states. For example, if I close my Twitter app, or X, and reopen it 10 minutes later, I'll be able to scroll down and see posts that were previously loaded. Without cache, everything would need to reload. You can specifically remove the cache on certain websites, but leave others in place, which can be particularly useful if you're managing multiple websites. Additionally, caching is a key ingredient of economical large-scale cloud hosting, being vital for fallbacks such as CDNs, which is content delivery networks. So, what are the benefits of cache data? Going back over everything, it is faster. Sites you visited and apps you've opened will load quicker because your device already saved the essentials. No need to re-download them. And then there's less data drain. If you're on a limited mobile plan, caching helps avoid repeated downloads, especially for media-heavy apps like Instagram or YouTube. Then it keeps your place. This is really cool because apps can remember where you left off. Like a news app can save your scrolling position, or X, Facebook, things like that can keep your feed halfway loaded. And it even works when you're offline. Some cache content, like saved playlists or map areas or notes, stays available even without an internet connection. So, should I clear my cache? So if cache data isn't that important, is it safe to erase? Well, that depends. If you find your mobile device memory being drained by cache data, you should probably clear it. After all, cache data isn't vital to an app or website's performance. It just means the files on it will have to be reloaded. Although constantly clearing your cache isn't a permanent solution, since you'll be eventually reopening apps and revisiting websites at some point. The data will be recached and the cycle will continue. If you're not that strapped for memory, consider deleting old text messages, images, or video files on your device. It's also worth looking at cloud-based file storage like Google Drive or Dropbox if you want to hold on to your files. These options typically offer a free amount of cloud space. How do I clear cache? Now, there are different ways to do that. If you're on a iOS device, you can go to your settings, then click General, then Phone Storage. From there, you'll have a few options. Your first option is to clear entire cache of apps you hardly never use. This is under recommendation, offload unused apps. Moving down to how do I do that with an Android? Open the Google Chrome app on your Android phone or tablet. Tap More on the three dots on the top right of the corner of the web page. Tap History, and then tap Clear Browsing Data. And choose the time range at the top. Select a time range and click the boxes next to Cache Image Files. Tap Clear Data to free up the browsing cache on Chrome. So, and there are different other applications as well as web browsers that you can do this for, especially if you're experiencing some performance issue. Can you clear cache from just one app or website? Yes. On most Android devices, you can go to your settings, apps, and choose a specific app and clear its cache without affecting others. In browsers like Chrome or Firefox, you can clear site-specific data through the settings of your privacy menu, which is helpful if one site is acting up while others work fine. What about incognito mode? Does it use cache data? Not exactly. Incognito mode doesn't save new cache data for your session when your session ends, but it may still use existing cache data during that session to speed things up. Once you close the window, anything temporarily stored is wiped, so future visits won't benefit from previous caching. So, if you're looking for an opportunity to not save as much cache data, you can also consider using something like incognito mode when you search. With all that being said, if you have any questions about cache data, how to delete it, or why it's significant or important to your performance issues, you can, as always, leave a comment down below or visit some of our other podcasts where we go through other ways to expand your network performance. If you have any questions, feel free to put them down below. Any suggestions for future podcasts, you can do that as well. But thank you so much for watching the NerdCast Podcast. Bye.